Zoom is so fun. So welcome to Coffee and Collaboration. Today I'm going to talk about six-figure business workflow. And who am I? I built a six-figure business firm while I was raising my kids and being there for them. What was important to me was being around for my kids, but also figuring out a way to have a career, make money on the side, and be like an example for my children. And with that, I'm going to ask everyone, turn off all distractions, and I want your full attention, to this. We're here as a group, networking and collaborating, and being present to everybody is just so key. So, phones and all that stuff can wait, our to-do list, because it's always top of mind. But really what we're here for is collaboration and seeing how we can make things grow. And, being present is key. So one of the first things that we talk about is a boss mindset. It's making decisions in that boss mindset in order to get where we want to go. Everybody talked about scaling businesses, or helping family members, or, different things that they want to do, meeting other people to goals and to give back. And the key to this, without fail, for me, was always that boss mindset of putting myself in those shoes of that mindset of the decision or the place or the goal that I want to be in. If you get clear, you just walk into the money, because you're just continuing to feed off of that energy of putting one foot in front of the other. And it just feeds off of itself versus sitting into an energy that is like feeling bad for yourself, or like even worse, like a victim mindset. So when you put on this new mindset and you put on these new types of feelings and new thoughts in your head, there's different things that happen. You have to be a whole nother person. And with that new mindset, you get new results. If you don't walk into that new mindset, you don't get the new results, because you get the same results, whether they were crappy or they were good. But when you walk into that new mindset of that boss mindset, you start to see things change. And then you have like one change at a time. A coaching client of mine last week, she got onto the call, and something happened. I forget exactly what the total story was. And then she goes, I put on my boss mindset, Margo. And she goes, I acted like you. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And she was like, I saw a situation and I saw I was going into a downward spiral, and I just paused. I took a deep breath and I said, what is one change, or what is one thing different that I can do to make new results? And part of that is taking responsibility where we're at fault. And talking about this for a few minutes, taking responsibility, this catches people a lot of things, because, when you're an entrepreneur, you can be in a victim mindset, or you could be in a blame world or a blame spiral where this was the problem, that was the problem, too many taxes, it was Biden, my accountant didn't do this, my assistant didn't do this, she didn't understand me, or the recording didn't work. There's all these different things. But when we start to take responsibility for every single stinking decision in our life, we start to realize that there's a positive trend that builds. And it brings better habits. It reminds me of this story. I'm a big fan of Alana Cardone. I don't know if anybody here watches her. And I mean, a lot of you guys probably watch Grant, but for a while I was a bigger fan there. But so she had this video, and it was about her helicopter coming down on her pad. And she's like, most of you would think that it's like looking at this helicopter that is like, oh, those rich people, and like, and have those type of negative comments, let's just call it. But it really wasn't. She was like, I look at people, if I saw somebody's helicopter and it's like, they made a lot of the right decisions. they made more decisions to walk away things that are not the right decision and to moving them more towards their path. It's all on that mindset on how you want to think. So it's like if you see somebody with a helicopter or a pool, the brain automatically moves into this thing of like all these negative thoughts, and it just starts to spill on each other versus looking at this, if somebody had like this helicopter, it's like, they have better habits, they have different, more effective ways of doing things, and not just looking at it as like, oh, those wealthy people. And before going on to the next slide, it's like, I just wanted to talk about responsibility for a little bit more, because stepping into the responsibility world at first is hard, because you're still onto that pattern of like, this is wrong, that is wrong, it's that person's fault, and all these types of victim. And scarcity is also another one, and scarcity, where it's kind of like it's lack, and it's kind of like it's the last opportunity or the last decision, or those types of things. But when you take responsibility for things, you realize also more of what you're capable of doing, and you realize that power, that magic that you have within. So this quote I came up with, and I just feel like it never fails me. Don't limit yourself. We always think like, I was talking to one of my mentors this morning. He called me about something, and I answered his email. He asked me if I got the stimulus, and I answered him about the PPP. And he goes, I knew you were tired. And he was like, we had to talk. And if anybody who doesn't know what that stuff is, stimulus was one of the refunds that, they were giving out because of COVID. And PPP was Payment Protection Program, payroll for business owners. So you don't want to limit yourself. You want to be always looking for possibilities, for options, and just seeing what's out there. And going as far as what your mind lets you. And then even when there, it's like, keep going. It's like that vision being bigger than you. I remember when I started this, when my kids were small, and now I have an 18-year-old and I have a 15-year-old. Never would I think I can say this, and like not have a full gray hair here, having an 18-year-old. But you want to create that vision that's bigger than you. Like, I'm inspired by every single one of you in different ways. And it just, when you let your mind go and just going as far as that, it just opens up the mind. It opens up your ability and that growth mindset to really get into like that scalability that we're all aiming towards. So I want to make a declaration, and everyone's going to join in when they're ready. And, it's the system of I am, I want, and this is why. So it could be like, I am Margo Mastery, your heartfelt CFO from Margo's Bookkeeping. It could be, I am Margo Mastery, the CFO Solutions Queen. I want, and then you share your goals. And then this is why. My why are my children. I have 2 kids, 18 and 15, and that's my why. I have a passion for my kids. I live and breathe them. Anyone who knows me knows that. And I also service my clients in every single way as if they're my big children. I love them in every single way. So at the end, when we get to Q&A, I want everyone to think about what declaration they're going to make today for that 6-figure mindset. I am your name. I want what you want. And this is why, your why. When you make this big, hairy, scary declaration, and I was speaking about this with a different client of mine yesterday, that like, your big, hairy, scary declaration, Margo, like, what does that mean, that sentence? Because like you think sometimes you're going to make these goals and they're not attainable, but they are. It's a matter of taking the steps and putting yourself in there. So if anyone needs help with that, we'll talk about that in the Q&A time, but I want you guys to make this declaration. And you'll see how powerful it is, because when you wake up every day and you have your why, it just works. It just feeds itself, and it gives itself its own nutrients. So having your declaration at the top of mind helps you keep going. And when you need reminders, it's there to speak for you. You know, it's like you put it up at the wall or wherever it is, or on your phone. I walk around with like this big, huge planner. I'm a big planner. I'm a big fan of the high performance planner. So I put it in there too. And commit to taking the necessary action to achieve financial goals. And financial goals is, you know, we think about it as like, it's money, but financial goals is also personal fulfillment. It's like, it helps you with experiences. It helps you with feeding your family and juicing the things that are around you in your world. So keeping that declaration top of mind when things get hard, it's like there's a lifetime of different ways of things that it really helps. So the grow work from today, and you're kind of like, I came here to collaborate. I didn't come for homework. So the grow work from today is to make a declaration. And every day when you wake up, you make this declaration. And I'm going to take it one step further. And whoever is here, take a picture of this so that when you put the declaration, I want you guys to put the declaration in the group. So it's going to make the other ones who didn't come today, it's going to make them jealous, right? You're going to take a picture of this and you're going to put your declaration in our group. And then you're going to say, I am, and where you are from. And I commit to taking action necessary to achieve my financial goals, or it's to achieve my personal development, if that's what it is. It may not be necessarily financial goals. Tweak it to fit your situation. And use the hashtag, I will keep going. Now, a lot of you may think like this is a little crazy, but the inner circle of your brain and your inner, like the conversations that happen, it's kind of like the affirmation, if you will, to those next levels. And you'll see how powerful it is that it's like you look back at your year, or like now we're in June, and you realize where you are so that your goals are not slipping away. And whether it's 6 figures, 7 figures, maybe it's 5 figures, maybe it's 4 figures, whatever it is, you know, it always supports you in that journey.